This is the Albuquerque Business Podcast with your host, Jason Rigby. Each week, we interview leading local business leaders to inspire the vision and spirit that is in every entrepreneur, discussing strengths, weakness, strategies, systems, and the problems we can all solve together to fulfill a shared vision of a new future for Albuquerque.
Hi, and welcome to the Albuquerque Business Podcast. This is Jason Rigby, your host. We're going to have a marketing minute right now, and I want to talk to business owners that are out there. Maybe you're a marketing manager, maybe you're a general manager, whatever it may be, and you've had businesses contact you about SEO, search engine optimization. Maybe even a local business and you've looked into local SEO, and you've had companies sell you monthly plans and you just don't understand it. Maybe you've gotten to the point to where you've done a little bit of research online and you think it's important, but it's kind of expensive. So you're like, do I really need this or not? And maybe you've gone to the point where you signed up with an agency and you did some SEO for 6 months, a year, 2 years, and you didn't see any results. Or maybe you felt like the results just really wasn't there. Well, I want to talk to you so you understand as a manager, as a business owner, exactly what SEO is. Because if you don't understand it, then why would you make that investment with something that you don't understand? That's not sense, and you need ROI, return on investment. So I'm going to get into a little bit of the SEO terms, meanings, but I want us to understand specifically what is local SEO for your business. It's local search engine optimizations. And sometimes they call it local search engine marketing, but it's an amazing way to market your business online. It helps you promote your services that you have. So when people are searching something, like, could you imagine if you live in Portland, Oregon, and you typed in best brewery in Portland, and literally that first thing that pops up on that organic search on Google, and it shows a brewery, and that shows to be the best brewery in Portland. How many people would you get, especially people that are out of town, how many people would you get that would come to your business, your brewery, just because you were number one? You will be shocked at the percentage of traffic to your website that you can get for being number one. But I want you to understand what people are doing on Google. There's statistics out there. This is brightlocal.com. There's a lot of them out there. But according to Google, 46% of searches have a local intent. So almost half the searches that are on Google are searching for something that's local, whether it's a plumber, whether it's a brewery, whether it's a Chinese restaurant, whatever it may be, they're looking. They're wanting to find that, and they're typing in a location. They may type in best plumber in Albuquerque. Where are you at? Are you on the second page where they make a joke where you can hide a dead body on the second page of Google? No one goes there. You almost get like a 20 to 25% lift just going from second page to first page. And then from there, every single ranking that you go up higher is expeditional, like 10 times the amount of traffic that comes to your website. And that's what you want. You want traffic coming to your website and specifically doing something on your website that you want, whether they call you, whether they look at a map, whether they text you if you have that feature, and I encourage you to have that on your website. Whatever it may be, purchase a product, maybe you're doing that online, whatever it may be, you have to understand that when somebody is searching for something on Google, you not being in those top coveted 3 positions is hurting your business. Google is the new Yellow Pages. It is the way that people are searching for anything nowadays. And now people are using Google Maps, and that is really prevalent on your phone. So if you're not in those top areas, and they call them SERPs, it's local search engine result pages. And local SEO is different from regular SEO. If you're a national company and you're looking at wanting to rank on very specific keywords, that's a little bit different than if you're typing in, plumbers in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and then you're hoping that you're one of the top 3 that are there. But I want to talk about local SERPs, those search engine result pages, and then I want to talk about, there's something called the local pack or 3-pack especially on Google Maps, because that's what has been popping up a lot with these new updates that Google has doing, especially mobile first. And majority of your traffic, if you look at your Google Analytics or you look at your website analytics, you're going to see how much traffic is coming from mobile phones now. We have these amazing little computers that are in our hands that we're constantly searching on Google for things. So if you're not there in that 3-pack, you're not going to get the traffic that you should get. So how do you get noticed? How do you do that? I encourage you to look at a local SEO company. I encourage you to do research on them. I encourage you to understand and know local SEO before you make the investment. It can be anywhere from $400 a month to, tens of thousands of dollars, depending on what business you are and what you're doing and what company you go with. But I want you to understand the number one thing that you can do for your local SEO is to make sure that your Google My Business profile is done right. If you don't know how to do that, I encourage you, like I said, to hire an agency. They can help you with the Google My Business profile. But Google My Business is where Google is getting all their information about your business. And there are a lot of businesses out there that haven't even claimed their Google My Business listing. And you can see that. It's the big square over to the right. If you type in, we can type in University of New Mexico and you'll see a big right, and there's photos and pictures and ratings and the hours and the address and phone, all of that. You can even put appointments on there. You can put your website on there. It will show all the reviews that you have, not just for you, but for usually like 3 other review sites, depending on what you are. So it's pretty amazing. The Google My Business is a huge thing. They call it a GMB profile in the marketing world. But you want to make sure that you have your GMB profile up to date and as accurate as possible, because that's when you're going to have a higher chance of getting into that 3-pack. That's when Google's going to begin to understand that you're displaying trust and that you're appealing to their search, because that's what Google wants. More than anything, they want their users to have an amazing experience on their search, and they want it to be trusted. That's why we go to Google, because we know they're pretty much not going to let us down. We're going to go to Google, we're going to go to Yelp, we're going to look at reviews, we're going to look at ratings, and then we're going to go to the restaurant. So it's so important that you have your GMB, your Google My Business profile, up to date and accurate. Also on local SEO, a very important thing is citations. And it's any place that your business can be locally, whether it's online directories, whether it's business listings, whether it's like the Chamber of Commerce website. It's the NAPW is what we call it in the marketing, especially in the SEO world. It's the NAPW, which is name, address, phone number, and your website URL. You need to make sure that that is accurate and that there is as many as possible locally. Any opportunity that you can put your NAPW, your name, address, phone number, website URL on a website, you need to do that for your business. It's only going to help you rank higher, because now you're getting all these trustworthy sites that's having that same information. Make sure your NAPW is the same everywhere. Don't have different addresses. I see so many people, they'll have these citations of their business and their website URL is an old website. Their phone number, they've changed 3 times. And so you go through all these websites with their name and you look, and there's all these different phone numbers, all these different addresses. They've had an LLC on one, some they had a different name, some it's part of their name, whatever it may be. You've got to make sure all the information on all these online directories, all these local business listing websites, that they're all the same exact information. That will help you out tremendously. If you don't want to take the time to do that, a lot of the local SEO companies, what they do, if they're specialized in local SEO, they're going to give you like 10 of these a month, and they're going to do them for you, and then they're going to fix the old ones that are on there. So that's a great thing. That way, consistently every month you're getting these citations that are put out there. And it's very important that you understand, especially, I know a lot of us do not like Yelp. And I don't want to get too heavy into that, but there's a really negative connotation for Yelp. But on Yelp, you're going to see what they call a structured citation on a Yelp listing. And it's next to the business listing. And you're going to see those fields that they're going to ask you to claim if you've never claimed your Yelp listing. And these structured citations are, where you're at, your name, your website, all of that. And you're going to see it over on, especially on Yelp, you're going to see it below your reviews near the map. It's going to be on the left side. It will also, when you do this properly, it will also aggregate on a lot of different websites through Google. They use Google Maps and they put that little Google embedded map and then they put your address and stuff on there. It's important on your social media because if your Facebook address is different than your Yelp address, which is different than your Twitter address, which is different than the address that you have on your website with 4 different phone numbers, maybe you were using a call tracking number on one website and you're using something different. You want to make sure that it's all connected locally. You're creating this big spider web, and I want you to look at it that way. You're creating all these points, this big spider web of all these different citations that are out there. And I'm saying once again, if you do not, as a business owner, if you do not have the time to do this, I encourage you, look at local SEO companies that have good ratings that are out there. You can DM me. I will give you some suggestions on that. I would love to be able to help out with you on that. But they need to be regular updated. They need to be cleaned up. If they're not, it's going to cause you not to rank where you should be, because 68% of consumers say they will stop using a local business if they find incorrect information. I don't know how many I've gone into citations and found different addresses. How confusing is that for your customer? You have to understand, everybody's looking online. Before they go into your store, your restaurant, your business, whatever it may be, your gym, whatever it may be, before they go in, they're going to look at pictures, they're going to look online. You need to make sure that all of that is available to your customers. So what is ranking? Well, ranking is really important because that's where you're going to rank at. If you do everything right, you should SEO slowly. If you could do it really quickly, I was telling a client earlier today this, if you can do it really quickly, if I could type in number 1 airlines in the United States and Delta would pop up, or Alaska Airlines, or whatever it may be, and they could pay and get there quickly, don't you think that would be a battle of millions and millions of dollars to pay to get to that position? That's not what Google wants. Google has ads for that, where you can get on 1-for-1 exchange on Google Ads, and I'll do another whole episode on that. But it's very important that you understand when your customer is on their phone, how they rank is really important. So if you're in different parts of your town, whether it's here locally in Albuquerque or wherever you're at in the United States, get on your phone in different neighborhoods and see where you rank. Maybe you need to add those locations, little hint here. Maybe you need to add those neighborhoods and those locations into your website. And at the bottom, you can put, serving this county or serving this subdivision, serving the west side, or serving Rio Rancho. These are all here in Albuquerque, these little subdivision in these neighborhoods. You can add all that on the bottom. And a lot of times that will help you with proximity, because that's what they're looking at. How close is your business to the searcher, especially on mobile? Proximity is where it's at. If I type in best gym, and then they're going to look and show me on the maps on my mobile phone exactly, Google's going to show me the closest gyms with the highest ratings. So it's proximity, then it's relevance. So how relevant is this search query to your service that you're offering to your customer? And then prominence. What are other people saying about you? What are your ratings? What are your reviews? What does your social media look like? And I want to get into this before we get into SEO, local SEO a little bit more. I want to share with you the ranking factors. And this is a guess. And a lot of people, Moz puts this out, moz.com. They do a lot of this. But it's a guess because Google changes things all the time. They have algorithm updates. They have Panda and Hummingbird and all these different, they have these different names. They've gone mobile first, now. So that changes a lot of different factors. But what we're seeing, especially with like local pack, like we talked about earlier on the Google Maps and something, as far as like finder ranking factors is what they call it, is Google My Business is pretty much they feel is number 1 if you've done it right. And if you haven't, like I said, I encourage you to hire somebody to make sure your Google My Business page is good. Then link signals. What are your linking? They call it linking domain authority, and then the linking domain quantity. And then your review singles. How many reviews do you have and what rating is that? Encourage every single customer to write a Google review for you. If they're not on Google, have them write a Yelp review. Whatever it may be, you want to encourage people to write reviews. It's like 16% of local pack according to them. And then on-page signals, like the presence of your name, address, you got to make sure that's all clear on your websites. Do you have keywords in your titles? What's your domain authority? That's huge. And then citation signals. Is it being consistent? Is your NAP being consistent in what you're doing? And how much volume of the citations can Google find that there's 40 other websites locally in Albuquerque that talk about your real estate company? That is hugely important. And then behavioral signals. Like they have Google Analytics. They look at that to see how they rank you. Because what happens, let me explain this real quick. What happens if you have a website and 90% of people are staying on that website for 2 seconds or 3 seconds? Well, obviously you have a real crappy website, maybe. Number 2, it may not be relevant to the keywords that you're ranking for. So they're going to look at that. It's like the behavioral signals are, what are people doing on your website? You got to realize how huge Google is and how smart they are. And they're updating this constantly. Behavior signals, they're looking at click-through rate. They're looking at mobile clicks to call. They're looking at check-ins. They're looking at all these behavioral signals. What is your customer doing? They also know that they went to your business. So if they went to your business on their phone and then they left a review, they know what happened. We all know this. We can look and read and do conspiracy theories on what they're tracking or who's listening and what, but we know these signals, they're tracking us on this. And then personalization, how personalized is your website to what you're wanting to rank? If you want to be the best yoga instructor in Albuquerque and you want to rank for those keywords, then there needs to be that website that you have, that Facebook page that you have, there needs to be a lot of engagement on it. And that leads me to social signals. This is looking at your Facebook engagement, your Twitter engagement, your Google My Business engagement. They're looking at these things. And it's so important because if you're not tweeting regular, if you're not going on Facebook, if you're not going on Google, if you're not going on Instagram and these, you need to be posting once or twice a day. If it's something that you can have a secretary do and pay her a little bit more, have her do that. How awesome would it be to take a picture with your customer and you as the owner a couple times a day, every day? What if you have a restaurant and you're the owner or you're the chef and you go out and you take pictures with your customers all the time, ask them how the meal was, they say it was amazing, and then you just take a picture with them. And then you're constantly posting pictures of happy customers and you out talking to the customers. You do that once or twice a day for 3 or 4 months and you post those to Google and Facebook and Twitter, you're going to get a high ranking. And then you have these people leave reviews and you go ask people to leave reviews. If they've had an amazing experience at your business, that is the time to ask them. It is hugely valuable that they leave a review for you. And what is local SEO? It really boils down to understanding that it's a lot of work, but it's worth it. Because when you begin to rank high, when you begin to get not just a direct contact of the customer you're seeing, where'd you hear from us? Well, I went on your website. Well, how did you go on our website? Well, I Googled it and you were there. And then you have somebody come in and they just walk into your business and you're starting to get a lot of foot traffic. And you're all of a sudden on Google Analytics, you notice you're getting a ton of website visits and you look and you were, 13th on ranking and now you're 5th. And you're seeing all this huge difference. And then you start asking people and then they find out it's Google, 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 Google. You're going to know the importance of local SEO. And like I said, I want to kind of give this to you. Be very, very careful who you hire. Don't hire your cousin's brother's uncle who thinks he has an idea. Google will penalize your business. There's a thing called black hat SEO and white hat SEO. Black hat SEO is trying to jick Google's system and their quality guidelines, and you violate that. Guess what happens? Your website will get penalized. And it can get penalized for a long time where you're going to have no chance of ranking. I've had people who've literally had to completely take destroy their website, and then take their name completely out of all their citations and everything they've done, and then restart their website all over again, maybe change their name to rebuild themselves. So you don't want just anyone doing your SEO. I'm telling you that. Let me give you that warning again. You don't just want anyone doing your SEO. You need to take this seriously as a company. These black hat techniques are these people that are spammy. If they're being spammy to you, you get this weird email and they're telling you how great this SEO and you've never met them before, and they're being real spammy, they're going to spam your website. You may get an uptick. It may last for 2 or 3 months, but the company that you hire for your SEO needs to be trustworthy. You need to be able to sit down with them one-on-one and have a conversation with them. Don't take these big generic companies who do these cookie cutter. You need to sit down with somebody, find the keywords that you're ranking good on already, find exactly what you're doing, and get with them and get an idea exactly what you want and get those expectations out there. You're not going to rank overnight. Like I said, if it was easy, everyone would do it. But you have the ability to be able to slowly climb up those rankings and then be able to see your foot traffic into your store, and those phone calls, those texts start to ramp up. And then there's a whole process with that. And I'll do another podcast on that. What happens when you start getting more business? And the consulting side of me, that's where I really want to pay attention, because I've seen so many things. As we're getting a ton of traffic, we start doing a lot of digital marketing with the client. Next thing you know, guess what happens? They don't have the systems to support the extra that's going on. So now you have a lot of ticked off, not just customers, but you have ticked off employees because they're getting irritated because they're doing all this extra work for what? So that's where the consulting comes in, to be able to make sure you can handle that, and then slowly working towards where you should be at with that. Another thing, I think that's important, and I want to be done with this because I want to keep this to the marketing minute, but understand that, and I want to give you some statistics on this. 96% of PC owners conduct local searches, and we do that a lot at work. 40% of all Google searches are local. 64% of local customers use search engines and directories as their main way to find local businesses. 50% of local mobile searches look for business information, like a company's address or phone number. Get this one. A whopping 78% of local mobile searches result in an offline purchase. That's what you're considered, an offline purchase, when they come into your restaurant, your business, your gym, your yoga studio, whatever it may be, your brewery. It does not matter. 78% of local mobile searches result in an offline purchase. That's amazing odds. I want to rank high. I want to be up there. I know that I have an opportunity to gain extra business off of that. But make sure, like I said, you're very careful with who does your local SEO marketing. And local SEO is important, not only in the ability to be able to get conversions on your website and to be able to drive traffic into your store, but you also have to understand that you can literally grow your business using local SEO. The local search marketing trends are hugely strong. People are going more and more to Google. We know everyone has a phone now. So whether you're a builder, whether you're a contractor, a florist, accountant, you can make more money if you do local SEO marketing. I'm encouraging you to do that. If you're just starting out, you don't have the money, take the time to study it out and do what you can do on your own to accomplish that. If you have any questions, I always encourage this. You can go to my Instagram at abqjason.rigby. That's abqjason.rigby, and DM me there. All my social media, I'm at abqjason.rigby. We also have another podcast that I've been recording. It's more of a spiritual side. It's called the Higher Density Living Podcast. It's self-help. It's a lot of the things that I've been studying over the years. I have Alex, my co-host, is with me. He's amazing. A data scientist, owns a tech company, extremely smart on the science side of things and understanding the brain and understanding the technical aspects of it. And then I get into the spiritual side, and we just released a podcast on dreams. We've got into, what is true love. We got into some crazy stuff, aliens. I mean, you name it. We get into a lot of different things, whether it's off the wall or you consider it not. I know it'll be really practical for you. We just talked about We did a whole episode, not just on, like conscious eating and the right foods that you should eat. But we did one on how dogs love and how they love you. So if you're a pet owner, I encourage you to download that. But it's higher density living. Subscribe to that. Also, please leave a review for us. If you can go to Apple Music, or if you use Google or Spotify, whatever it is, you can leave a review for us. If this podcast helps you, I encourage you, please take the time. It takes less than 5 minutes, and leave me a review. That will help me rank higher. And I want to provide this information and help local businesses and small businesses, not just here in Albuquerque, but I hope all around the United States as we continue to grow. That is the backbone of our country, is small business. It is what each and every one of us is all about. It is what makes this nation great, and it is what helps support local communities and employ people all around the United States. So if I can be of a help to you, then I encourage you to be of a help to me and leave a review. That's all I'm asking for. Just make sure you go to, like I said, iTunes or wherever it may be, and you can click on there and leave a review for the podcast. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. If you have any questions, like I said, DM me at ABQ Jason Rigby. And I hope you guys will get into local SEO and understand it and get it going on your website that you can rank and have more business. Thank you guys. Have an amazing evening.
Thank you for joining us on the Albuquerque Business Podcast. And thank you to our sponsor, DukeCityMarketing.com. Please go to abqpodcast.com, where you can get show notes, resources, and links to everything we talked about today to help you navigate your journey as an entrepreneur and business owner in Albuquerque.